Let's talk a bit about the talking in Octopath Traveler. Hello my friends, it's July 17, 2018, and today's big story focuses in on Octopath Traveler. There's been some great news about the game. It's #1 on the eShop in the United States and Japan and Australia. I think it's #2 in the UK. The game's been selling out both in Japan and in the States. There's been some online retailers who have sold out of the game, so lots of people playing it, which is great news for Nintendo and Square-Enix. And those people that are playing it are talking a bit about how the dialogue is voiced in Octopath Traveler. So the game does have voiced dialogue, but not every section of the game is voiced. It's a mix of, I think it's more of a mix of how Nintendo usually does things. So some sections are voiced, and some sections have characters saying things on screen through written text, but then their voices are like, aha, or stuff like that, you know, just little interjections and things like that. And the game goes back and forth between those. And sometimes you also get voiced dialogue that is different from what's written on screen. Not a mistake, just, you know, a different way of showing the emotion that the character's feeling. So, people have been debating this, if it was a smart idea, if it's too weird, if it's a unique and different idea. And I've been interested to see what you guys have to think about it. Himfunk Go Nintendo says, the voice acting isn't bad, but I enjoy the game so much more with the voices off. I prefer just to listen to the nice music and imagine character voices in my head. When it comes to something like Octopath Traveler, which is definitely a blend of old school RPGs and what game consoles can do today, and some ideas from RPGs more recently, it's interesting to see how voice acting plays in those games, because if you look at old school RPGs, there wasn't any voice acting. Today, it's just expected for there to be voice acting, so it's an interesting way to bring the two together. Game Informer had a feature discussing how the voices work in Octopath Traveler, and they reached out to some developers on Twitter to see if they could give some insight as to why a developer might do this. And one developer from BioWare said that there's a whole bunch of reasons. It could be due to budget constraints, it could be due to time constraints, it could be due to constraints on the data itself. So they're like, we only have this much room to play with when it comes to voices, so we can only fit in this much dialogue. Rather than doing no voices, let's do some, or let's do something different. And like I was saying, I think it's a way that Nintendo has done dialogue. Now, I know this is a Square-Enix game, but Nintendo was involved somewhat, and Square-Enix might be more interested in gearing this more towards Nintendo fans because it's a Switch exclusive. There's been a lot of Nintendo games where you don't get fully voiced dialogue, but you do get characters speaking. They might say a noise, or they might make a noise or say a phrase, or just a couple lines of voice work, rather than reading everything that's on screen. So we've seen that a lot over the years from Nintendo, and it might be a way to bring the games to life a little bit more, but not taking away from the characters, or at least trying to, what people envision in their mind. Now, more recent games like Breath of the Wild had full voice acting for some sections, but not everything that was written. And like I said, there's other little noises in there that characters make when there's dialogue going on screen. So it feels like a very Nintendo way to do things. And me personally, voice acting is a mixed bag. I don't need voice acting in a game. It is appreciated as long as the voice acting is good, but that's subjective. So when I watch anime, I watch it dubbed if I can, and subbed if I can't, because I'm not too picky about voices, but I do recognize when there are some bad voices, and I have played games where voice acting has been bad enough to ruin parts of the experience for me. Metroid Other M is one of those examples. The voice acting I found in that game to be absolutely abysmal, and it really ruined some of the moments in the game for me. So it's an interesting idea to take a mix of voice and not voice and put them together. For some people it's been jarring, for some people they really dig it, and like I said, I think Nintendo fans are kind of used to this thing, but Switch is bringing in a lot of people who haven't played Nintendo games in a very long time. So, I'm interested to know what you guys think. Do you like the voice acting in this game? Do you like when games handle voice acting this way? Because it's not the first game to do it, but not too many titles do it, so I'd be really interested to know what you think. Alright my friends, that's today's big story for July 17th, 2018. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting. It's very much appreciated. I'll be back tomorrow for whatever tomorrow's big story is, and I sure hope you'll join me to check it out. So until then, check out the new Parents Play. There's a brand new Parents Play episode with my mom and dad playing Fortnite. Those of you who watch that franchise, thank you so much, because I really do enjoy recording it. I know it's a very tough sell for me to be like, hey, watch my parents play games. One parent doesn't play games, one parent plays games, but they're not so great. So it doesn't sound fun, but it seems that people that give it a shot really do enjoy it. So thank you if you're one of the people who supports Parents Play. If not, check out the latest episode. They're playing Fortnite. Maybe it'll be your thing. It's not just my parents playing games. It's more about the funny conversations that we have while we're playing games about the game and about other things. I do some editing in there, do some editing jokes, and just some editing overall. So maybe it'll be your thing. But like I said, those of you who have checked it out, thank you. And if you haven't, you could change that today. So, have a good day, have a good night, have a good evening, and I'll see you in a few short hours. Hey guys, RMC here from Go Nintendo. If you like what you saw in the video, why don't you give us a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe? We'd love to have you. If you want to see what else we're up to, you can check out GoNintendo.com for 24-hour Nintendo news. You can visit us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GoNintendo. You can check us out on Twitter at Twitter.com/GoNintendoTweet. And we're even over on Instagram at Instagram.com/GoNintendo. I put all the links in the description just to make it easier for you guys to follow. Thanks a lot.